In the ancient Yoruba town of Ayetoro, where the rooster crowed before the sun remembered to wake up, everyone believed they knew everybody's business. If a goat sneezed in the eastern quarter, someone in the western quarter would already be arguing about the color of the handkerchief it used. The town had one unofficial ministry. The Ministry of Conclusion. Nobody investigated anything. They simply concluded. Leading this ministry was one unforgettable man called Baba Bolahan, known by everyone as Baba, I know before you know. He never asked questions. He answered them before they were asked. If smoke appeared over someone's roof, he would announce, I know. Their soup has burnt. Meanwhile, the family could simply be roasting yam. People trusted him because he spoke confidently. Unfortunately, confidence and truth were distant cousins. Every year, Ayetoro celebrated the festival of ancestors. People danced. Masquerades filled the streets. Palm wine flowed like a small river. Children chased each other carrying roasted corn. The greatest treasure of the town was brought out only once a year. The sacred talking drum. Legend said it was over 300 years old. No king was crowned without it. No festival began without it. It stayed inside the palace under the watch of 4 elderly guards. The morning of the festival, the chief drummer screamed, My king! The drum is gone. Within minutes, the palace exploded with panic. The king nearly dropped his royal staff. Women wailed. The guards fainted one after another, not because of guilt, but because they feared what the king might do. Before anybody could investigate, Baba Bolahan cleared his throat. I already know who stole it. The entire crowd turned. He pointed dramatically. The blacksmith. The poor blacksmith almost swallowed the hammer in his hand. Me? Yes. You are the only man strong enough to carry such a heavy drum. The crowd nodded. Makes sense. Nobody asked for evidence. Strength had become proof. The blacksmith protested. I have been repairing hose since yesterday. Someone shouted. He is lying. Another added. Arrest him first. We'll investigate later. The blacksmith sighed. This village enjoys punishment more than truth. Meanwhile, an old hunter named Akin was returning from the forest. He noticed unusual footprints. Very large. Then very small. Then large again. He scratched his beard. Which kind of thief changes leg size? He followed them. The tracks ended near the river. Then disappeared completely. He frowned. No human walks into water and disappears. He continued searching. Instead of announcing conclusions, he kept asking questions. Elsewhere, 3 palm wine drinkers had already solved the mystery. The blacksmith sold the drum. No. He buried it. No. He turned it into cooking pots. By evening, the entire village believed 3 different stories. None was true. Suddenly, one woman screamed, My goat is missing too. Immediately another villager shouted, See, the blacksmith has started stealing goats after drums. People nodded again. The poor blacksmith cried. What does a sacred drum have to do with somebody's stubborn goat? Nobody answered. Hunter Akin returned to the river. He sat quietly. Then he noticed something. Fresh canoe marks. Someone had crossed before dawn. Interesting. He crossed the river. On the other side, he found broken palm fronds. Pieces of red cloth. Ashes from a small fire. But no drum. Instead of declaring victory, he searched wider. Hours later, he heard laughter. Children were playing. One little boy proudly said, "My father carried something big yesterday." Akin smiled. "What was it?" "I don't know. Mother said I should never tell strangers." The hunter laughed. Wise woman. Instead of forcing the child, he greeted the family respectfully. The father welcomed him. Inside the hut, there was no sacred drum. Only baskets, fish, ropes. Then Akin noticed something strange. Fresh red paint. Exactly the same color used on the palace drum. Now he became curious. Not convinced. Curious. He politely asked, "Have you visited Ayetoro recently?" The fisherman smiled. "Yesterday." "What were you carrying?" "A damaged canoe." "Who painted it?" "The palace carpenter." "Interesting." The paint explained nothing. Another false trail. Truth had hidden again. Meanwhile, the king had already sentenced the blacksmith. 3 months of repairing everybody's farming tools for free. The villagers cheered. Justice. Or so they thought. That same afternoon, children started chasing monkeys near the palace. One monkey carried a bright red cloth, exactly like the cloth tied around the sacred drum. The crowd shouted, "The monkey stole it." Even Baba Bolahan agreed. "I knew animals were involved." People chased monkeys for 3 hours. The monkeys enjoyed every minute. One even stole Baba Bolahan's cap. The whole village laughed. Except Baba. As everyone argued. An old widow called Mama Sod quietly asked, "Has anyone questioned the guards properly?" Silence. Nobody had. Everyone assumed they were victims. The king ordered the guards to come. 3 answered confidently. The 4th could not stop sweating. Baba Bolahan whispered, "He is afraid because witches visited him." Mama Sod rolled her eyes. "No. Let him speak." The 4th guard confessed, "I slept." Gasps filled the palace. When I woke, the drum was already gone. Finally, a real clue. Hunter Akin returned again. He inspected the storage room. Nothing unusual. Then he noticed a thick rope was missing. Why still a rope? Unless something heavy had been lowered. He checked the palace wall. Fresh scratches. Someone had lowered the drum instead of carrying it through the gate. Very clever. Outside the wall, he found tiny wood splinters. He followed them. Again. Patiently. Without assumptions. The trail led to an abandoned shrine. Inside, the sacred drum stood untouched. Beside it was not the blacksmith, not the fisherman, not the monkey, not the goat, not witches, not strangers. It was the assistant palace drummer. He fell to his knees crying, "I didn't want to steal it forever." Everyone stared. He continued, "The chief drummer refuses to retire. No matter how well I play, nobody notices me. I wanted the festival postponed so people would finally hear my own drum." Silence covered the shrine. The king sighed deeply. "So, you nearly destroyed the peace of this kingdom because of pride." The young drummer lowered his head. "Yes." Everyone slowly turned toward Baba Bolahan, the man who always knew everything. Children began laughing. One shouted, "Baba, didn't you say the blacksmith melted the drum?" Another added, "And then you said monkey stole it." Even the king smiled. "Baba, perhaps next time. Look before concluding." for the first time in his long life. Baba Bolahan had no answer. The blacksmith was released. The king apologized publicly. The villagers repaired every farming tool they had forced him to fix. The assistant drummer was forgiven after months of community service and was made to perform before the whole town, not as punishment, but to prove his talent honestly. The chief drummer finally accepted him as an apprentice worthy of one day succeeding him. Everyone learned that recognition earned with patience lasts longer than attention stolen through deception. From that day onward, whenever rumors spread, the elders would ask only one question. Have we looked beyond the first answer? Children learned to investigate before accusing. Farmers checked facts before blaming neighbors. Even Baba Bolahan changed. Well, almost. One afternoon he announced, "I no longer jump to conclusions." A little girl laughed. "How do you know?" He smiled. "I investigated myself first." The entire market burst into laughter. From then on, whenever someone rushed to judge another person, the elders would chuckle and say, "Remember the drum that laughed last? The truth is never where you first look for it." Moral of the story. 1. The first explanation is often the easiest, not the truest. 2. Evidence is stronger than assumptions. 3. Rumors can destroy innocent lives in a single day. 4. Curiosity and patience reveal what haste hides. 5. Pride can tempt people into foolish decisions, but honesty and accountability restore trust. 6. Wise people ask questions before they make accusations. 7. The truth often hides behind the most obvious answer, waiting for those willing to keep looking.